Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Jeannie and it's Jeannie's Signatures. I welcome everybody. So today I'll be making this beautiful bustier gown. It's very beautiful. The basque is basking, the bustier is busting loose, and it's quite beautiful. And my client really loved it because it came out so well. So don't worry, one of these days I'll inform my client to send me the video of how it was on her when she went for her occasion, so that I'll put it on my shots and you're going to be getting a sneak peek of how it looked beautiful on her. So if this is what you're interested in, please kind of watch till the end and don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to share. So my client didn't have money for beading, so we improvised by making use of these beautiful fittings, and it came out very nice. So it's not only using bead, you can also make use of what you have. So now we're doing this on my pattern paper first before transferring to my fabric. So I'll now be going up by 5 inches. I'll be using that as my off shoulder point, and then I got my lines. I got my chest line, bust point on the bust, waistline, and then the length of the top respectively. And then I divided my nipple to nipple bust span measurement by 2, and then I added half an inch to that. And then when taking your bust point and on the bust, make sure you add half inch to that, so that by the time you join it back, everything is going to be sitting perfect. Now for my darts, I'm going to be taking 1 inch on both sides respectively. So I'm going to be marking that on my the bust, my waistline, and then the length of the top respectively. So I'm going to be rolling that out on a straight line. And so on the bust point, I'm going to be coming down by half an inch because I don't want it pointed. So I'll come down by half an inch and then give that curve to meet the 1 inch that I came out for my dart. And then on this other side, I'm not going to be making it a little bit too curvy because I want a situation that when I'm sewing, it's going to be easy for me. So I just slanted it out like that a little bit. So on the chest line or on the shoulder line, I'm going to be taking the same 1 inch on that place as well, and then I'll go up by half an inch from my bust point and then connect the 2 lines respectively, like so. So my marker misbehaved, so I ended up using a pen, so that is why it's not very visible, but I believe you can manage that. So I'm just crossing out my dart lines, that's those places that will be cut out. So now right on that first line, I'm going to be dividing my bust into 4 and then add back the 2 inches that I used for the dart and then add my sewing allowances. So whatever I have on that chest line is what I'll be taking to my bust line. So I'll just go over to my waistline, but if you have your under bust measurement, you can make use of that. But I prefer making use of that when I'm closing up my clothes or dress, so that I'll have a perfect finishing as at then. So I'll just come here and input my waist measurement divided by 4, add back the 2 inches that I used for that, and then 2 inches sewing allowance. I'll go over to the length of the top, divide, because that's going to be the hip measurement divided by 4, and then add back the darts and then the sewing allowances as well. So I'll just go ahead and connect all that together. So for the neckline, I just went up by 5 inches and then came down by 2 inches. So invariably the neck depth was 7 inches, and then I gave it a sweeter neckline. Now for this tutorial, I really didn't know that it didn't record where I cut out the back piece. I'm so sorry, but all you need to do is to just follow exactly the same steps like I did here, except for the bust measurement. You can make you make use of your waist and then the hip measurement and then the length, and you don't need to get a bust dart here. All you need to do is to just do the normal dart and then cut out and then add your zip allowance. But if you want it tied at the back, you can go as well and do that. I have tutorials on how to go about that on the channel. I'm so sorry, I didn't know my camera was not recording. It was after I had finished that I realized that I didn't get the video for the back. I'm so sorry. So this is what we have right here. So I just wanted to show a caricature of how it's going to be, even though I'll still be explaining it later in the front as we progress. So from the midpoint, just come in by 1 inch. I used 1 inch, but I would advise you go for half an inch is okay. 1 inch was too much. Then at this part, you go in by 2 inches, and then you're going to be getting the midpoint of between that pointed edge to the place you came in by 1 inch. You divide into 2, you get the midpoint like so, and then you go up by the inches you're going to have your curved Basque looking. So that is entirely dependent on your choice or the client's choice, and then you're going to be carving this like so. So I wanted to use the marker, but the marker was not marking anything, so I had to use my pen. So just do it like this. So I'm not going to be doing this on the paper anyways. I'm going to be joining my fabrics and everything together before adjusting it appropriately. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out everything on my fabric and iron stay on my fabrics, and then the lining as well. Rain is falling around here. Hope you can hear the thunder. So I've gone ahead to do all that, so that's what I'm showing you. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix all this together, and then I'll be back to show you the next step. So these are the back pieces. So after joining, this is what I have for the front piece. You can see the bust is busting, as you can see. You can see the underbust, you can see the bust point, and everything is looking very pretty. So let me flip it so that you see it. So you can see it from this angle that it's looking very beautiful. So now I'm going to be doing that I did to get the Basque waistline. So I'll fold the fabric into 2 like so. And then, like I explained earlier, I would advise you go in by half an inch, but I used 1 inch. You get the midpoint. You go up by the inches you would want. I would advise between 4 and 5 inches would be okay. And then you go up by 2 inches by the side like this, and then you connect the dots together. And then you cut out. I was just trying to re-explain what I did. cutting it out. So whatever I did on this main fabric is what I'll be repeating on the lining as well. So I'll fold this back and then go up by half an inch again because I felt it was not giving me what I needed. So you can see that middle part I came in by 1 inch. You can see that it's a bit wide. So that's why I said if you want to do yours, please kindly just use half an inch to be okay. So I'm just going to cut out about half an inch from that to give it the perfect curve that I would want. So this is what we have. So whatever I did on this main fabric, I'll be repeating it on the lining as well. Just place on the lining, fold it into two, place it very well, and then cut out exactly what you have there. Well, you trace it out first and then cut out. Still the same thing. So this is what we have. So for this front piece, I had already gone ahead to sew my straps that I'll be making use of. Remember, I went up by 5 an inch. So for both sides of the strap, I'll be needing not less than 11 inches on both sides. So the long strip should be about 22 inches, and then I'll cut out the excess that I don't need, and then cut this into two. So I'll be having 11 inches on both sides. So now place inside like this, use my pins to hold it down, sew it by half an inch when I'm sewing the neckline. So by the time I remove half inch from the 11 inches, I'll be left with 10 inches, which is the original shoulder that I came off with. So I'm just pinning this so that it's going to be helping me when I'm going to be sewing this down. So I'll just go ahead and then sew this, sew the lower part, and then sew the sides as well. And then I'll be back to show you whatever I did on this front piece. I'll be repeating the same thing on the back pieces as well. So for the back piece, the only difference is that from my zipper allowance, I came in by 2 inches instead of the 1 inch that I used in the middle for the front. Why? Because 1 inch is going to be for the zipper. By the time I finish sewing the zipper in, I'll be left with the 1 inch that I used for the front so that everything would rhyme. So when I told you should use half an inch, it's because I had finished all this before I realized that half an inch would have been perfect. So I'm just trying to repeat exactly the same thing that I did in the front. That's what I'm repeating for the back, except for the fact that I came in by 2 inches from the zipper allowance because of the back piece. So I'm just cutting this out like so. So I'll be repeating the same thing on the lining as well. And then from here on, I'll go ahead and then turn everything with my lining and then fix my zipper, and then I'll be back to show you the next step. So this is what we have for the back, as you can see. So I've gone ahead to turn my lining for the front, and this is how it's all looking. It's looking beautiful and pink. So this is what we have. And then these are the back pieces. I've gone ahead to attach my zipper as well, and I've turned everywhere out. I'll be giving it a very good press later. And so I'll be placing the back on the front in order to give my closure. like so. So it's at this point after I had closed it that I took out my armhole, because I didn't cut it wide on paper. I cut it out as a tube so that I will adjust the armhole as I want. So when you want to adjust your armhole, just go up by 5 and 5 inches, and then divide your armhole into two, and that's what you'll be carving out on your armhole. So I just wanted to show you a caricature of how the nets that I placed in front of that thing will be. So if you want me to show you a different tutorial on how I achieved that tool net on this beautiful piece, you can leave it in the comment section, and I will be showing you how I achieved that on a separate video. And I went ahead to embellish because my client, like I told you, didn't have money for beading. It's not everybody that has money for beading, no. So we had to improvise, and then used our beautiful trimmings, and it came out looking very beautiful. So this is how it looks. So if you enjoyed watching this tutorial, kindly hit on the subscribe button, kindly like, kindly share, and watch out for my next tutorial. It's Genius Signatures. Ciao.